Welcome back everyone. It's been a long time since my last video. Been absolutely flat out, and you might notice I'm not as casual as I usually am. I've actually just come back from doing a whole bunch of demos, and I thought, well, hey, I'm still in the mood. Let's record this video, do a bit of a demo. Now this is actually from a request that I had. I'm going to be adding it in the Extensibility section of the videos, and what we're going to cover is being able to essentially run a script, right, at the end of the day. But this particular one I'm targeting will be to add the requesting user into the administrators group of the local machine, as an example. So this is a pretty common, I guess, requirement or ask from professional services when doing these sort of things, and it's actually quite easy. Now, there's actually 4 ways I could do this. Now, I'm only just going to demo 3. The 4th is using SaltStack as well. Obviously, if you're running VRA Advanced or Enterprise, you've got that capability today, right? So that is there, and that can be used, and I'll sort of show it. I'll sort of glance over it, but I thought, look, I'd already done the 3, and I thought, well, time's getting away from me. If I keep trying to perfect it, I guess you can say, it'll be probably ages till I actually get the video out. So I thought, look, I'll just do it now. I've got 3 different ways that I'll demo, and as always, I'll try and put the code, YAML, any of the scripts and stuff that I'm running in the link below. Right, so let's get stuck in. Let's do this. So first and foremost is we want to use cloud-init. Right, so from a Windows thing, it's called Cloudbase-init. Now I've got some videos on that, on how to run there, and this is an example here. So very simple example is that I've got my Hello World application here that I've just cloned just to make another one of. You can see I'm doing a customization spec here to be able to join the domain if needed, and I'm also doing the Windows machine, so I've hard-coded all these, and within there I've got my requested user. So we can see that I've got request user is requested by. Now that's just a property there. This isn't needed in this particular instance, but it will play into some of the other blueprints later. And then as you see there, we've got our cloud config down the bottom, and we're just running, very simple. So I want to add local group member to administrators, and the member is that exact same. So $ environment requested by. Now, depending on how your local AD account structures are created, what gets passed through is your username. So there's no @domain or anything like that that's there. So if it's just going to one domain, then that's simple. If not, you might have to do a derive what domain you want to join to, right, as an example. But we can see here it should execute this. So I'm just going to go off and run this. It should join the domain and add my domain user into the local account. So let's deploy this, and this will take some time. So we'll call this Cloudbase-init add user. I'll do. And next, I'll go to vSphere because I don't have to pay for that, and away we go. So that's going to go, and just being Windows, naturally, it's actually going to take some time to 1, provision, and 2, join the domain, right? So we'll let that go, and we'll move on to the second one, because quick video is a good video. And moving on, we have... So in the second one, we'll have a look at that, and I think that's this one, is what we're going to use here is, in this particular instance, is ABX, and what we're going to do is connect to vCenter to be able to run a script in this instance, right? So in this, I've got here, we've got run script yes. That's just so I can trigger the subscription. I don't want it running everything, purely, again, just for testing purposes, right? And we're going to take in a whole bunch of information. But if we have a look at extensibility here, we can, execute, this is it, execute script, and we can see within here we've got the bunch of secrets. So these are things obviously I don't want people to be able to see, and it's really good having the secret integration now into the extensibility. So I've got my VC username, password, ignore that, that's actually not even used, and my Windows password. And we can see here I'm using the get context, context.getSecret within here, and we're running as PowerShell in this particular instance. To get the password, now script user, I could be grabbing that too, but I've just got administrator there. Obviously you wouldn't use administrator, but you know, again, this is just really a demo showing what can be done. And we look at the VC user, I'm grabbing that, I'm grabbing the password, I'm grabbing the FQDN of the vCenter that I need to connect to. I'm not actually using that, that was for something else. And then I'm doing getting my request user. So that's where if we go back, we're setting that property of request user, right, which will be me, obviously. In here, just obviously a bit of testing and writing that out. I'm grabbing the name of the machine that we need, and this is going to run post deployment, right? And within here we can see again, I connect to the vCenter that I need to connect to. I then make sure that the tool status is up and running before I do any execution, because this is going to be joining the domaining, rebooting, those sort of things, right? And then after that, I get the VM. We then do a bit of outputting for debugging. I make sure that it matches the Windows string. So this one you could actually run like you could do something based on Linux or based on Windows. You can compare what you're connecting to. So this particular instance, I just want to connect to a Windows box to be able to do this. But all this would work the exact same way if you wanted to put the current user into a sudo as group or something within Linux, right? And then we have this script. So this is the script I'm doing, exact same, except I'm putting my request user in there, right? And then within here, I just start script, do a bit of just have a bit of a sleep there. Now I generally wouldn't do a sleep here. It was more just there was a race condition, and you'd do other things. You'd put more, but because I just wanted to be able to get this done and out, I took the lazy way out there, right? So I wouldn't obviously recommend that within an enterprise environment because it gets unreliable. And then I do the run script. So I invoke that script. Right, so it's executing, and it will execute, or should execute. Now, because I am connecting, I had to up the memory limit within this particular container, and just in case, I've done retry and failure. So if it fails, it's going to try again, right? That way you can make sure that maybe there might have been a race condition, maybe not, but at least then it has another go, and if it works, great. If not, then there's probably bigger issues at play, right? So that's there, and let's kick that off. So this is the example 2, so we'll deploy that. We'll deploy this, and we'll call it, that one will do. Add requesting user, and we'll call it ABX. That's what we're running. Alright, and we'll go to vSphere on that one. Alright, now third way of doing it is basically the exact same as ABX, except we use good old trusty VRO workflows, right? So run script and guest, or being able to do a PowerShell connection to a guest, or whatever it is dead simple. And this is actually the quickest one. Like I literally slapped this together in about, I don't know, 2 minutes, less than probably, including testing. So if we have a look, I'll go to Orchestrator here. So all I'm doing is running an out of the box run script and guest, right, within here. And if we have a look at the schema, again, very, very simple. I literally dumped these in. You can see it's not even clear, connected them up, mapped all the variables and input variables to what I needed to do, and it does the exact same thing. It grabs the payload, it grabs the request user and all those data, grabs the machines, it gets a VC VM by a name, and then brings back the VM object, and then from that VM object I can run a script in the guest. So again, that is from a extensibility point of view, that is a workflow. So if we have a look at these subscriptions here, I should have somewhere. So there's the run Windows script. That's running the ABX. You can see, run script equals X. It'll execute that. Great. And this one is the workflow. I probably could have named it better. Exactly the same thing, except I've got a different property that it looks for, and it's going to run that execute script in VM. workflow. So really using the same underlying thing, just two different ways of doing it. So what I'll do is I'll kick that off now as well. Now these will take a little while to number 3. That was 3. Yep, so there's the property. Workflow, yes, I'll deploy that. We'll go cool. And obviously the fourth way then too is to use Salt. So Salt's actually got an out-of-the-box function for Windows to add users into groups, meaning that you just need to install the Salt minion and assign it the state file, right? So very, very simple to do in there too. Just something I hadn't got done, and I thought, well, I could either record the video now or I could record it next week, and I thought now's probably better. So I get back and people know I haven't forgotten. So let's go back to that first one. Should be the Cloudbase-init one. So let's have a look. That's 5243. So 5243, there it is. We can see the other ones are cloning. Let's log into this one. And hopefully, if it's all worked like it should, let's see that I've been added in. So it just should be my domain, vRealize me domain for Scott for the username. So come on, Ewan. Taking the time. And also just to show that it is on the domain. Alright, so if we have a look here, local users, groups, administrators. And there I am. So added in there, and as you can see, it's the domain account. And if we have a look at the system info, we should see that we're all joined to the domain. Seems to be awfully slow. There we go. And there we are. We're on the domain, all working great. Alright, so now for the next one. And we'll just have to give this a bit of time to clone and get up. So the magic of video editing will be finished very quickly. Actually, I just remembered, so that you know I haven't dodged anything up here, I'll log in as another user and do the same request, just so you can see that the differences there. So let's actually do one. I'll have to remember the logon user. I think it's remembered. Cool. Alright, so completely different user. Let's look at the design. Again, obviously it would be a catalog probably, but I'll just do it through here. I'll just use this first one as a simple one. So we look at, yep, cool. I'll deploy that. Different user. User admin. Alright. Deploy. So that'll go off and deploy, and again, we'll wait, and I'll be able to show you that. Now, through the magic of video editing, let's fast forward. All right, so we've got the deployment's finished. So we'll have a look at extensibility, so we can see executed the script. We can have a look at that. We can have a look at the log2 that are provisioned. My tools is out of date. Obviously, best practice not to. But if we go and have a look, all right. So 5245. Let's just double check that. Yep, 5245. Yep, so that's the one. Let's go and log into this. Alright, this is obviously admin. I'll just. Yep, cool. Alright, so let's have a look at computer management. So I just waited for all of them to complete. And we have a look at local users. And we can see I'm in there as me, as the requester. And let's have a look at the other one. So orchestrator has completed. So if we 247, that sounds about right. Let's just have a look at our deployments again, just to make sure. So that's the workflow one. 247, yep. So 247. Let's log into that one. All right, let's look at computer management. Hopefully, I'm in there as well. Yep, cool. All right, and finally, just so you know, I haven't like pre-baked that in because it's all been me, right? So it looks a bit sus. We have the other deployment there as well, which was the different user. So we can see this was done by a different user requester. So that's the 249. So if we go to 249 and log in, oh, this one's locked. Actually, even better, let's shoot user on that. So, what was it again? User PZ01. Right. Okie dokie. Come on. Here we go. All right. Computer management. So this user is not a domain admin user either. I use it for testing certain things like this. Let's wait for computer management to come up. It's not exactly sitting on lightning fast hardware here. Here we go. Alright, local users, groups, administrators, and there it is. User PZ01. Awesome. So I'll leave it there for now. You can see a nice little bit of demo of how to execute. Now the scripts and stuff that I'll supply the links down the bottom to the GitHub page. But just to make sure I wouldn't exactly like cut and paste them and put them into your environment. You know, for instance, I'd never use sleeps in a production thing. You'd be doing more robust checking than that to make sure it's a bit more dynamic, right? Because sleeps are a no-no in generally, but just purely to prove a point, improve capability is I put that in there. So you know, it's a good foundation. Take it, use it, make it better. And there's also other ways you can do it. So I know I've done, and it's been many years ago now, but for a customer, to be able to dynamically create group policy per machine that was provisioned, or per application that was provisioned. That way you can, you don't have to then muck around with adding things into local admin. You can actually use group policy for that particular machine, and maybe you've got your inheritance, but you actually create a group policy specific for that machine as an example, add the users that you want to be part of local admin and all that sort of stuff within there, and then that all just applies automatically, right? So there's lots of different ways to skin this, just whatever's best for your organization to do it. And as I mentioned before, the fourth way to do this would be to use SaltStack, right? And that is literally out of the box as well. Once installing the milling, running the state file, it's done and dusted, right? So good stuff. Look, hope you're all staying safe out there. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. See you, bye.